Hi, pals. How's it going? All right, well, we are just going to review today before our mastery quiz next class. So we're reviewing slope-intercept equations from, I don't know everything, right? From tables, from graphs, from word problems, okay? So if you need a review or you haven't had access to the notes or whatever, there's the notes for the tables. So what slope, what y-intercept is, slope-intercept form. There's the steps for writing slope-intercept equations from tables. Graphs are here, the steps for rise over run, and then all of the notes we took on word problems are here, okay? So there's a lot of info in those notes. If you need them, please make sure to access that in your lesson 35 folder. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and talk about, no, we're not doing that first, I'm so sorry. Oh no, what's happening? All right, let's go ahead and we'll talk about tables first, okay? We'll talk about these tables first. Excuse me for not having that in the right order. My sincerest apologies. So we're talking about tables. You know that we're writing y equals mx plus b equations, right? Remembering that our m is our slope and our b is of course our y-intercept, okay? Our m is our slope, our b is our y-intercept. So I need to find my m, my b, and I need to write my y equals equation, right? That's it. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna look at this x column so that we can find our b. We know that b is when x equals 0, right? We know that b is when x equals 0. So I'm looking for a 0 on this table. Oh, there isn't one. The worst, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and try to figure out the change and stuff here so that I can extend the table and find the b. So if I'm going from 1 to 2, I'm increasing by 1, right? I'm increasing by 1, I'm increasing by 1, and it just keeps going. And so then if I kept going this way, I increase by another 1, I'm gonna be at 6, right? That doesn't really help us because that's just going to keep going bigger and bigger, like we'd be at 7 afterwards, right? That doesn't help. We need to go, so let's think about it. If we're going up by 1 this way, if we went back by 1, so instead of adding 1, we subtract 1, what would we be at? 0. Duh. All right, so we'd be at 0, so that's perf. All right, so that was on our x side. We now have an x as 0. Let's talk about our y side. So on the y's, from 5 to 10, that is an increase, a change of 5. We're increasing by 5. That keeps happening here. Plus 5, plus 5, plus 5. What point would match this 6? If we add another 5, we're going to be at 30. If we add another 5, we're going to be at 35. That doesn't really help us right now. Doesn't really matter. Okay. So what if I went back here? Instead of adding 5, I'm going to subtract 5, okay? And then 5 minus 5 is going to give me 0. So I know that my b is just 0. That's easy. That works, right? And when we have something like this, our life is actually a lot easier because when we use m equals delta y over delta x, we already found the change. What was our change in y? It's these orange ones over here. Our change in y was plus 5. What was our change in x? Plus 1, right? When you have to find the y-intercept, it kind of makes it easier. So what is our slope? Well, 5 over 1. Remember that 5 over 1 is not equal to 1 over 5. These are not the same thing. Remember, this is 1 candy bar split between 5 people. This is 5 candy bars split between 1 person. So I get all of the candy bars. Just kidding, I don't. Anyway. These are not the same. So 5 divided by 1 equals 5, okay? And then when I write this equation, I just do y equals 5x. And you could put plus 0, but plus 0 does not add any value at all, right? So we can just say y equals 5x. All right? Cool. That is how to find slope of a table. Slope-intercept form from a table, not just slope. That would have been a lot easier. Let's talk about this graph. It's a little blurry, but we'll do what we can. I'm going to move it over. All right. So for this one, obviously, same thing, right? Y equals mx plus b. We're looking for the M, which is slope, slope, whatever you want to call it. I'm just kidding, it's slope. And then we're looking for the B, which is our y-intercept, right? Okay, so M, B, y equals. All right, so we are going to find our B first. Now we know that our B is where our line, our beautiful blue line here, crosses our y-axis, right? So that is at, let's see, here's our origin. I'm going to move down 1, 2, 3. So that is going to be at -3. Now I know, because of the notes that I have posted, that my next thing I have to do is find another good line. So let me look. This isn't a good line because it's not at a corner. Or sorry, not another good line, another good point. This isn't a good point because it's not in the corner. Neither is this. Ooh, we're getting close. Nope. 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 Yes. Right? That's like as close as we get. Jeez. Okay, so all the way up there. Ooh, that's far. All right. Cool. So, let me look at something. Never mind. So from here, we're going to do rise over run, right? We're going to do rise over run. So if I want to do rise over run, I have to start at my lowest most point, right? Lowest most point, which is right here. And I'm going to move up first, right? You have to rise, get up out of bed. We have to get up out of bed before we can go run, right? So we have to rise before we can run. So I'm going to rise up to my next point. Remember, you cannot go diagonally. This is a no-go. Absolutely not. That doesn't even make sense, okay? We're going to rise first. So we're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Up 7. So my rise is 7. And then I'm going to run, and I'm either going to go left or I'm going to go right. In this case, I'm going to the right. So does that mean I'm adding or subtracting, or is it positive or negative, however you want to think about it? Well, if I'm going to the right, these numbers are getting bigger, so I know it's going to be positive. So this is going to be, oh, sorry, this was +7. This is going to be a +2. So 7 over 2. All right. And then I just want to double check so we did our rise over run. That's good. 7 over 2. I just want to double check that this should be positive. So if I think about my little man on here, is he going uphill or downhill from left to right? He's going uphill, right? So I know that my slope should be positive, and I had a positive slope. Thank goodness. So we're good to go there. And now I can just write my equation. So I should have y equals 7 over 2 x. And of course, you can put plus a -3, or the most algebraically correct way, -3. Okay? Beautiful. That's it for the graph. Now let's do the word problem. All right, let's talk about it. So on this one, it says, when you cook a hamburger, the hamburger becomes smaller. Did you guys know that? It's true. I don't know. It shrinks at a rate of 0.4 ounces per minute. If the burger starts at 12 ounces, what is the equation that shows this relationship? So, say all that to say that the 2 units we are using are going to be ounces. That's really thin. Hold on. Very light, very light. The 2 units we're going to be using are ounces and what else are we talking about? Minutes, right? We're talking about minutes. So at 0 minutes, right, I've slammed this burger, not slam, I just plop it. Plop this burger into my pan to, you know, cook it or put it on, like put it on the grill, whatever. At that point, what is the size of the burger? How many ounces is the burger at that point? Well, we know that it starts at 12 ounces, right? So I'm going to put a 12 here. So after 1 minute of cooking, what's going to happen to the burger? Well, it told us that it's going to get smaller, right? By how much? It's going to get smaller by 0.4 ounces. So that means that if it gets smaller, that burger size is not increasing, it is decreasing, right? So that means that this is going to be a -0.4, right? It's getting smaller, it's a -0.4. So now I'm at 11.6, right? And then what happens at 2 minutes? What happens after 2 minutes? It goes down, it changes again by a -0.4. So 11.2, right? And then after 3 minutes, it changes again by negative 0.4. And now we are at 10.8, right? And that just keeps going forever and ever and ever, right? Okay, sick. So now I'm looking for my m, x, b, and y equals. Remember the, oh, that's ugly. Help. Y equals. Remember, the only thing that's new here is this x, and we're just trying to figure out what we don't know with that, okay? So what do we think my m is? My m is going to be the part that's changing. M is what changes. Okay, that's hideous. Wow, what in the world? All day today. It's just really hated me. Okay, m is what changes. All right. So we know that it's changing by 0.4 every minute, right? But that's a negative 0.4. So I'm going to write that. Negative 0.4. I also have keywords of per and rate with the 0.4. So those are keywords for CRC. All right. Okay. So what is the X? What don't we know? Well, we don't know how many minutes this is going to go for, right? We have no idea. The X is going to be our minutes. And then what is our B? Remember that B is the start, right? B is the start. So at the start of cooking this cute little burger, it weighs 12 ounces. Okay? So when I write this equation, it's going to be y equals negative 0.4 x, right? You don't have to write the minutes, you write the x, plus 12. Sick. All right. Hopefully that was helpful. We have a mastery quiz next class. So watch this 27 times. Or ask me questions. I don't know. Love your life, okay? All right. Love you. Bye.